you were quoted to have said that the protest is going to start from the FCT, and that's replying the CP of the FCT, that's the Commissioner of Police. So now, are you actually stating that the protest is definitely going to start from here? I want to know if you actually made that before we continue.
Yes, of course. We're just letting him know, because there was a response to his claim that FCT should not be a protest site. Because some roads have been tarred in the city, and I had to respond to him very quickly that the Federal Capital Territory is where the people causing the problems are situated, and that the protest will start at the Federal Capital Territory. And of course, everywhere across Nigeria, people are going to go to their state governors, people are going to go to various locations across the world. It's going to involve embassies, consulates, and wherever Nigeria might have a presence or concern, or even government houses, wherever, in some places they may not have. Wherever you have Nigerians, we expect people to protest. So Abuja is definitely number one on the list, because, as I usually say, it's the federal capital of the thieves that stole our destiny.
Federal capital of the thieves that stole our destiny. I hear you loud and clear, Omoyere Sowere. It looks like as though the promoters or the masterminders of the protest, there's so much secrecy around it. Are you going to tell us, at least give us an exclusive, one or two persons that one of the promoters or the bankrollers or the funders of this protest?
Hunger, starvation, poverty, election rigging, lack of healthcare and employment. Those are the promoters of this particular revolt.
Wanting a revolution is a call for coup, which is also high treason. So I remember that you were accused for treasonable felonies in 2019, which lasted for over 3 years. You were not able to see your family and all. I hear some people say, okay, can Omoyere Sowere just allow old wounds to heal? Make it just breathe. What do you say to such people?
Well, if you were in Kenya 2-3 weeks ago, when the revolt started against the current regime there, the way Bio is sounding now was how the government was sounding. They were saying it's high treason, and they sent police after that. But when they were confronted with people's power, all the demands that the people asked for have been met.
First taking a quote from Desmond Tutu, a South African bishop and theologian. He once said, "If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality." All right, my next one will be from Williams Faulkner, who is an American writer, who once said that never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying or greed. If people all over the world would do this, it will change the... As the clock ticks for the August 1st, 2024 nationwide protest against hunger and bad governance in Nigeria, fingers are pointing at the losers of the 2023 presidential elections as the masterminds behind the planned protest. The Labour Party has refuted claims made by the presidency that it is presidential flag bearer Peter Obi and his supporters that are behind the planned nationwide anti-government protest scheduled to hold on August 1st. The presidency described calls for the nationwide protest against hashtag Tinubu must go and Revolution 2024 as treasonable. Now, my guest on the show today is Omoyere Sowere, 2023 presidential candidate for AAC, and we'll be talking about the hashtag End Bad Governance, hashtag Revolution Now. Hello, Omoyere Sowere. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you for bringing me. Thank you so much.
Great. Okay, so I will start first by asking, because there seems to be a list that has gone viral, and this list is ascribed to you. It reads, and quote, Sowere named political stakeholders behind alleged plots to incite Nigerians to riot, and some of the notable names mentioned include President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for alleged massive corruption, election rigging, and harmful economic policies since May 29, 2023. Senate President Godswill Akpabio and House Speaker criticized for ineffectiveness. CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso accused for devaluing the naira. IGP Kayode Egbetokun alleged to have reduced the police force to a corrupt institution. EFCC chairman for allegedly aiding and abetting crime and corruption. Chief of Army Staff alleged collusion with bandits and terrorists. Chief of Navy Staff allegedly involved in crude oil theft. Comptroller General of Customs accused of allegedly aiding cross-border crimes and corruption. Judges allegedly accused for bribery to pervert justice, and the INEC chairman criticized for organizing flawed election that brought forth corrupt officials. Kindly affirm or debunk that this post is from you, Omoyele Sowere, before we continue.
It is from me. I listed those individuals. The list has grown up to 20 of them now, who are the architects of the misery that's now provoking Nigerians to engage in a revolt. What I meant by releasing their names was because had they not done what they did, the mischief against and the conspiracy against Nigerian people, nobody would probably at this time be thinking about the revolt. But if you look at the hunger, the starvation, the corruption, the mismanagement, waste, and wickedness that has become the order of governance in Nigeria, these are the individuals that are responsible for it. And it's to point people directly to them as opposed to them pointing at others as instigating the public or inciting the public. So I wanted to put the blame firmly on their front doors so Nigerians can understand who their enemies are.
Okay, so now that we are already sure that you made that post, but then I'll ask you, you also type on your Twitter space or X saying revolution now, hashtag end bad governance on social media and all, but you're currently not in Nigeria. So if the protest eventually holds on August 1st or starts on August 1st, are you going to be on ground to join the protest, or you will be mobilizing virtually?
That's irrelevant. This is a thing that affects everybody in Nigeria. And I'm just one person who has participated in more than 200 protests, both at home and abroad. And by the way, this protest is global in nature. So anybody who is interested can participate anywhere, offline, online, virtually, whichever way you want to call it. But I don't want to pay mind to this particular question because it is a question that is relevant to where we're headed, which is to liberate our country from wherever we might find ourselves. So that's my answer.
Okay, so because the reason why I asked that question, because most people would tell you that he's abroad, but he's asking us to revolt. Same thing, politicians, they'll ask you to revolt, or they ask you to go, they send you to become thugs, but then their children are not amongst those people that they send to those election rigging and all, which you have also protested against. That's why I asked the question.
You're not knowing me for the first time. I came back to Nigeria in July of 2019 to lead Revolution Now. And I was arrested, detained for months, and restricted to Nigeria for 5 years. I was protesting even under restriction, so you're aware of all these things. So why is it relevant? Those questions are relevant to people who take advantage of others, not me. I have been protesting since 1989 when I entered the University of Lagos against the military. So what I'm saying is that why don't we talk about substance and leave aside government and agent argument as to where somebody will be?
All right, so now coming from the presidency, they say, the presidency says, and quote, those that are involved in masterminding the protest are those that lost woefully during the 2023 elections. Are they referring to you? Sure.
Again, that's something that I don't even think makes sense. Everybody's a loser in Nigeria today because of the kind of governance we have in place.